What's happening? What's going on? So you already know, still going on with the wide body tag build. And this is something that's happening right now, is the fact that these cars are getting older. I know I heard some hissing, because evidently I've run over something. Anyway, like I was saying, these cars are getting older. Part availability, especially OEM parts, are getting harder to find. On top of harder to find, they're getting more expensive. So yes, I am hoarding parts, but only for a good reason. You know, sometimes hoarders, they just hoard for no reason, and because they have to. It's a compulsive thing, but this is actually structural. This is planned out, okay? And you should do the same thing. I just picked up some parts today. Check them out. So today I picked up 2 fenders for DC2 JDM Integra, including side marker lights, as well as an OEM hood. We know how priceless OEM hoods can be, okay? Fair value, although given, not shipped in, you know, negotiated price. Now, initially, I was going to pick up an entire different front conversion, core support, lights, fenders, hood, bumper, grill, all of that. But that didn't work out. For reasons that will remain nameless, because the guys were pretty good, decent, fair, and although it seemed like things were honest at first, it was just the lack of knowledge of knowing what they actually had and the correct pricing for it, and then finding out a lot of those different components were damaged. So we still worked out a deal where I walked away with at least some items that I wanted, and this is something that you all need to look forward in doing. Now, what I do realize is the hood, you know, you got some grass stuff growing on there. It's been painted underneath. But what I do like about this hood is, so far it seems pretty good. Now I'm going to wash it up and see if I can see anything. And the primer situation I don't really like, because primer is porous. It does absorb moisture. That's part of its job as far as being painted. And with that moisture it absorbs, it can create rust under there. So I'm going to get this cleaned off and sit it inside and hopefully find a way to, if not seal it, I'll get it sanded down pretty good by a body shop and then sealed the right way until I'm ready to paint it or use it. The fenders have OEM white on there, so they're pretty good except for a spot back there. But this is the reason why you're probably wanting to do this, especially if you're doing a JDM conversion, right? Because if you have a JDM conversion, it's not like you can run down the store and pick up fenders. Now, it's true, you can buy carbon fiber hood fenders at a good premium price from Sabon. I sell it. If you want, you hit the website or just hit me up and I'll order and send it to you. But if you want OEM pieces, that's going to be difficult. You're going to have to either find a JDM conversion that's been wrecked and they want to part out with it. Hopefully it's not front end damage. Find somebody who has one. They don't no longer want to do the conversion, so they're willing to sell you yours. Or you're going to have to reach out to one of the many other different resources, hopefully not one that I've named that doesn't do a good job at customer service. Reach out to one of those. Hopefully they will either sell you a whole front clip, a front conversion, or they're ready to part some things out. Sometimes at this point in time during the era, you may be able to start finding some of these businesses are willing to part these things out versus sell them as a whole. But what you will probably find, more likely than not, is that a lot of these businesses have stopped wanting to ship these front clips and or front end conversions for a very good reason. The shipping companies are damaging them, so that when we get them, we're having to file a report or we're complaining to the person that sold them to us, when inevitably it's really not their fault, but it's business, and they don't want to deal with that anymore. So a lot of these companies are doing local pickup. And if you're in a different state, if you guys are in California, you're great. Us over here on the southeast side, not so much. Luckily, there is a company on this side that I'm going to talk about later, because I had more parts that came in today for this same build, and when I do an open box on that, I'll talk to you about them, because they did an excellent job at working with me at facilitating my requirements and my requests. So yes, start picking up these parts, especially if you got JDM conversions. Pick up what you can, store it where you can. That way, if you have a wreck or accident or a mishap, you can do something. You know me, like I'm doing wide body, so these fenders are a premium to me, because if after all this metal work things change and I actually want to redo the wide body up front, I got the fenders. The bumper should be good. If not, I have to find a bumper. Now the bumper that those guys had, once again, some things not quite right there, but a bumper's not as hard to find and or get. And if I want to go carbon fiber, then I'll just do that if it really gets tough. So yeah, start hoarding parts. It's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. I'm Jay, Wolfpack Performance. I'm out. Peace.